In this video, in real-time system, today we will discuss the topic effective release time and effective deadlines. In the previous lecture, we have discussed the what is release time, what is the deadline of a job. So first we see what is the use of effective release time and effective deadline. So in the given release time and deadline of a job, in this example, this is job J1. In this parenthesis, this first is show the release time of a J1 and this 10 is the deadline of J1. So the given release time and deadline of a job are sometimes inconsistent with the precedence constraint of a job. By this we mean that the release time of a job may be later than that of its successors and its deadline may be earlier than that of its predecessors. Therefore, rather than working with the given release time and deadline, we first derive a set of effective release time and deadline from this timing constraint together with the given precedence constraint. The derived timing constraint are consistent with the precedence constraint. So first we see the definition. What is the definition of effective release time deadline? And then we take an example to understand that what is effective release time and deadline and how we calculate it. So what is effective release time? Effective release time, effective release time of a job without predecessors is equal to its given release time. And the effective release time of a job with predecessors is equal to the maximum value among its given release time and the effective release time of all of its predecessors. And what is effective deadline? The effective deadline of a job without a successor without a successor is equal to its given deadline. And the effective deadline of a job with successors is equal to the minimum value among its given deadline and the effective deadlines of all its successors. To understand that how we calculate the effective release time and deadline, we take an example. Here is a set of jobs. We look the set of jobs in this figure: J1, J2, J3, J4, J5, J6, J7. The number in the parenthesis next to the name of each job are its given release time and deadline. In this example, this J1, this 2 is the release time of J1, and this 10 is the deadline of J1. J2, the 0 is the release time of J2, and the 7 is the deadline of J2, and so on. So now we calculate effective release time and then we calculate effective deadline of all jobs. So start with the job J1. This is we calculate effective release time of a job. So for the J1 and J2, because J1 and J2 have no predecessors, J1 and J2 have no predecessors, so their effective release time are the given release time. The same release time that have the job are these its effective release time. Means the effective release time of J1 is 2, effective release time of J1 is 2, and effective release time of J2 is 0 because both have no predecessors. J1 is 2 and J2 is 0. Okay, now for J3, J3 have its two predecessors, J1 and J2. The given release time of J3 is 1, and the effective release time of J1 is 2. Effective release time of J2 is 0. So as per the definition, we again see the effective release time of a job with predecessors is equal to the maximum value among its given release time and the effective release time of all of its predecessors. So again, the example, the given release time of J3 is 1 and the effective release time of J1 is 2, J1 is 2 and J2 is 0. So the maximum value among these three is 2. So the effective release time of J3 is 2. J3 is 2. Now for J4 have only one predecessors. This is J3. So given release time of a J4 is 4 and the effective release time of J3 is 2. So the effective release time of a J4 is 4. That is maximum value among the given release time of J4 and effective release time of a J3. So the effective release time of J4 is 4. J4 is 4. J5 J5 have also only one predecessor, that is J3. J5 the given release time of J5 is here 1 and the effective release time of J3 is 2. We previously calculated effective release time of J3, that is 2 and the given release time of J5 is 1. So the maximum value is 2. So effective release time of this J5 is 2. J5 is 2. Okay, now J6 and J7. The J6 have only, oh sorry, J6 have two predecessors, this J4 and this J5. J4 and J5. The given release time of a J6 is 0. The effective release time of J4 we previously calculated is 4 and J5, the effective release time of J5 we also previously calculated, that is 2. So given release time J1 J6 is 0, effective release time J4 is 4, effective release time of J5 2. So the maximum value among 3 is 4. So the effective release time of J6 is 4. J6 is 4. Now the J7. J7 the J7 have also two predecessors, this J4 and this J3. J4 and J3. J7, the given release time of J7 is 6. The effective release time of J4 is 4. We previously calculated. The effective release time of J3 is also previously calculated, and that is J3 is effective release time of J3 is 2. So the given release time J7 6, effective release time of J4 4 and J3 effective release time of J3 2. So the maximum value among these three are 6. So the effective release time of J7 is 6. J7 is 6. So this is the effective release time of all the jobs. Here we see the how it will be calculated. Now we see the effective deadline. What is the effective deadline? We again see the definition of this effective deadline. The effective deadline of a job without a successor, without a successor, is equal to its given deadline. If any job doesn't have any successor, then its effective deadline is its given deadline, and the effective deadline of a job with successor is equal to the minimum value among its given deadline and the effective deadline of all its successors. So we will start with the job J6 and J7. Okay. So J6 and J7, and then this second value is the deadline. This 20 J6 deadline of J6 is deadline of J6 is 20. Deadline of J7 21, J4 9, J5 8, J3 12, J1 10, J2 7. These are the given deadlines of a job. So J6 and J7, here is no successor. So if any job have no successor, then its given deadline is equal to its effective deadline. So the effective deadline of J6 is 20 and effective deadline of a J7 is 21. J6 20 and J7 21 because both have no successors. Okay, now we're going for J4. 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 The given deadline of J4 is 9 and J4 have two successors J6 and J7. J6, J7. So the given deadline of J4 is 9. Effective deadline of J6 is 20. Effective deadline of J7 is 21. So the minimum value among these three is 9. So in case of effective deadline, here again we see the effective deadline of a job with successors is equal to the minimum value among its given deadline and the effective deadlines of all its successors. So the given deadline of J4 is 9, the effective deadline of J6 is 20, effective deadline of J7 is 21. So minimum value among these three is 9. So the effective deadline of J4 is 9. So for J5 its given deadline is 8 and J5 has only one successor that is J6. J6 and the effective deadline of J6 is 20 and the given deadline of J5 is 8. So the minimum value is 8. So effective deadline of J5 is 8. This is J5 8. Okay, J3. J3 have 1, 2, and this 3 successors. So three successors. So the given deadline of J3 is 12. Given deadline of J3 is 12. The effective deadline of J5, so that is already calculated, is 8. 8. The effective deadline of J7 is 21 and the effective deadline of J4 is 9. So the value of the given deadline of J3 12, this is effective deadline 8, this is effective deadline of this job is 21 and this 9. So the minimum value among 4 is 8. Minimum value is 8. So the effective Deadline of a J3 is 8. J3 is 8. Now J1. J1 have only one predecessor, that is J3. The given deadline of J1 is 10. The effective deadline of J3 is 8. So the minimum value is 8. So the effective deadline of J1 is 8. The J2, the only J2 have only one predecessor, that is also J3. J2, the given deadline of J2 is 7, and the effective deadline of J3 is 8. That is where already calculated. This is 7 and this is 8. So the minimum value is 7. So the effective deadline of J2 is 7. 7. So J1 8, J2 7. Calculate from this figure we can see how we calculate effective release time and deadline of any job. Thank you. This is the references that that I use for the preparing this lecture. Mainly, this example is taken from the this reference book JWS Liu Real Time Pearson Education Asia. Thank you.